You've been stewing about a health problem you have. You almost resort to texting your group chat to get your friends' opinions. You're extremely unlikely to find quality medical advice in your group chat, but you can find it from a doctor on ZocDoc. Thousands of medical professionals on ZocDoc are there to help you. They listen like a friend and give you expert care you need. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. When you're not feeling your best and just trying to hold it together, finding great care shouldn't take up all your energy. That's where ZocDoc comes in. Using the free app that millions of users rely on, you can find the right doctor that meets your needs and fits your schedule. Book an appointment with a few taps in their app and start feeling better faster with ZocDoc. Go to ZocDoc.com/think and download ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/think. ZocDoc.com/think.
Meet Cairo. He's a curious and friendly 8-year-old who's navigating life and school in the big city, with a little help from his parents, his big brother, and his friends. And even though being a kid is hard work, sometimes you can have a lot of fun learning along the way. From Wondery, The Adventures of Cairo is a podcast that brings you stories for the entire family about kindness, courage, and responsibility. In the episode, Black is Beautiful, Cairo is hitting the road with his dad and grandpa to visit the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. If you're thinking, not many 8-year-olds dream of spending the entire day in a museum, you'd be right. But Cairo quickly learns this trip is different and discovers there's much more to Black history than he realized. It's been so much fun listening to the Adventures of Cairo with Ryder. She really enjoys this podcast. Follow The Adventures of Cairo wherever you get your podcast. You can listen ad-free on Amazon Music or Wondery app.
Welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast. We are 3 moms coming together to express ourselves in a safe space on the topics of parenting, lifestyle, growth, and our WTF moments.
When did you write that?
Right. She's so proud of it, too. She said, yeah, bitches.
When did we get a new intro?
I guess just now. Is that our new intro?
But Wait, it seems like you were reading it,
Did you read that? Did you just make that?
Y'all, I write a lot of notes.
So did you write that down or not?
Yes, I did write that down.
When did you write this?
May 16th, 2022.
I'm done.
So we could have been at a new intro.
We're over here asking everybody in their mamas.
We asked everybody for a new intro. That is so rude.
I shared this with y'all.
No, you didn't.
It says shared. It
says
shared note.
In our Think Loud Crew shared note?
Show all activity.
I didn't see it.
Oh, well, it just shows me.
So she shared it with herself.
But it says somebody made edits, and then it says you made edits. I don't know who that somebody is.
That's still you. You haven't shared it with anybody.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I've got a whole thing on here.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. I feel like last week we were just talking about how we have not been able to film together or been able to do it inside the studio or in person or like find time to do it on Zoom. So we did a lot of like solo episodes, and now everything that we said last week is like we're in the studio, we're together.
I can touch you guys.
And Kyle's home.
Give me your hand.
Did you wash your hands today?
Of course.
Okay.
Multiple times.
I didn't wash mine.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
So?
Yeah, that's actually funny. Last night, okay, so I am home.
Yeah, so I'm like, before you go into last night, let's talk about that you're home.
Well, it has to do with being dirty. We put the kids to bed and like got them dressed for bedtime, and Boz took a shower. Ryder didn't take a shower, and Boz was stuck on it, and he could not go to sleep, and he was like, but Ryder's dirty, Mom. And I was like, it's okay. Like, maybe she just didn't play hard today. It's late. She has school in the morning. But why was she getting her bed dirty? And it was like, sometimes you're really tired. And she said, well, she needs to push through and just take a shower so she knows she goes to bed clean. Like, it was like a 15-minute.
Have you instilled that into his head? Like,
Clearly.
you don't go to bed dirty.
No street clothes on the bed. You take your shoes off at the door. Like, you take a shower.
There, like,
you know,
She was so tired. Go to sleep.
she was exhausted.
You put on some clean pajamas, you get in that bed, girl.
Yeah, like change your
Live your
underwear.
best life.
Right.
Brush
I'm
your
not about
teeth,
to
you're
argue
good.
with you because guess what? I'm tired too.
That part. Yesterday, Parker asked if he had to take a bath. And I said, you know what, son? I'm not going to force you. So
Yeah.
Parker went to bed dirty, too.
Yeah, and it happens. Like, it happens. There's times where I look at Boz and I'm like, not tonight. Like, let's wash you up. Let's do a bird bath. And he goes, bird bath.
You guys have to watch that part if you guys are listening to the
Yeah,
podcast.
she just did some weird shit.
Bird bath.
We are definitely back together.
Whatever. Yeah, so anyways, I'm home. You know, it was not an expected or planned,
Coming home.
no, not at all.
So I feel like last time you told us that, I mean, in our world of the podcast, you told us that you won't be home until April.
Until April.
It's April.
And it is,
It is
Not April.
Not
it is
April.
March.
I actually was home in February.
February.
So, long story short, I'm going to share something on the podcast just because this is, we started the podcast to like share and grow and learn. And, you know, this is my place of like exchanging information as well. And like being transparent, sharing difficult moments, sharing the good moments. So, you know, some of you may know I've been going through this up and down with my children's father for the last X amount of years. And what is it? I moved to DC over the summer and thought things were good. Everything was, you know, things were cool. And this last month, I've really just been like, I'm not happy. And it's like for a lot of different reasons and whatnot. And so I've been like deep in prayer. I've just been like really working on myself, like focused on like my school stuff right now, the classes I've been doing for my certifications, focused on my kids, like my business, just like feeding myself, like mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, like, you know, I've just really been just in my zone, I feel, the best I can with the time I have and the support I have. So the last few weeks, I've just really been in deep prayer, just like God, like me and God have just been like, God's my homie. Like God and I really, really, I wasn't super religious growing up. Like I was exposed to religion, but like I've never really been like, hey God, but within the last like
It's me.
yeah, but lately I'm like, you know, we have a lot of conversations, and I read, I'm deep in my prayer, and like I ask, I seek. So yeah, my faith is really important to me now. And I feel very proud to say that because it wasn't always that way. So. Yeah, I feel like faith has really gotten me, and like,
Bro, she went through a whole like,
Yeah, I
I'm
remember,
atheist or
yeah.
whatever.
no, I've never claimed to be atheist in my life.
Call Dad right now.
I would never
Shannon.
be atheist. I believe in like a
I'm
higher
out of
power.
this.
I believe
No,
in creation.
Kyle, you went through this whole phase of I don't believe in shit. I swear, I
okay.
remember
Well,
it. Yes,
I will.
you
Okay.
for sure
for
did.
sure I would never-
You can call both our parents right now, and they will both stand
Maybe
by the
it was
fact
like,
that you were
you
like,
never claimed
I'm this,
anything.
I
I'm
would
this.
be like
no, you for
agnostic
sure
before I was atheist. I would
you
never
for
say there
sure
was like
claimed
nothing.
it. I
Yeah.
put that on everything because
just didn't
I
believe
battled
in
with you
nothing, yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
I remember having this conversation
Yes.
with
Okay.
Shot, yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna deny.
Hey, I'm happy
It's
that
okay.
you and God are saying what's up.
Oh yeah, that's my
That's your homeboy? Jesus is your homeboy?
We can have another conversation about what your God looks like because I know what my God looks like.
yeah.
I asked Ryder what hers looked like the other day.
Oh,
Whoa.
she
what
said.
if I'm real curious.
You know.
What? her hair kind of
I
look
was
like?
really thinking, like, how the hell did she get this interpretation?
What was it?
Oh, he was a fine-ass man, like, fine as hell. The man that she was describing was fine.
I cannot.
But I was just
What type
like,
of man was
to
she
me, like, as a
describing?
kid, it was just like, how did you get this conclusion?
She was like,
She had the
My
haircut
goddess.
lines, like, it was a whole thing.
Oh,
It
he had a
was-
lineup?
He had a lineup. A crisp lineup. I had to make her draw a picture at this point, because I'm like, show me.
show me your.
We argued over why hers has a lineup and mine has long hair, but that's for another conversation another day. Okay, Kyle
But he had a
Strong.
lineup in a fade or something? Now
Yeah,
I'm curious.
like she drew the box like on his head to show where his lines started.
Okay, because her Jesus is fine.
Her Jesus was fine.
What if Ryder drew her future man just now?
That might be her.
That might have been
That
it.
might have
Maybe
been
she
it.
got confused.
She's
I'm
like,
just like, where did you ever see
She
this?
said-
Future husband.
when
she
I
got
see
confused,
God
that was God
in this
or-
person right
Bro,
here.
it was a fine man. I was just like, okay, we gotta go back to church.
Aw.
We gonna pray on that, baby girl.
Oh my god.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. So I would love to know what your guys' Jesus looks like. But
Long
anyway,
hair.
Kyle, back to you and your faith.
Um,
That's booming right now.
It's booming, yeah. And I would actually, I'm open to talk about it like in a whole different conversation, just because I have read so many different like religious books, I feel, or like from different religious scriptures, like not just the Bible. Like in the past, I've read from the Torah, like I read from the Quran. Like I talk to Allah. Like it's
Sorry.
shut the.
I didn't mean to laugh. It's beautiful. I love.
No, it's
I
a
love that you're on
journey.
this spiritual journey.
laughed at you after you said you talked to Allah.
I do. I do.
But she, no.
I
I didn't
really
laugh at that.
do.
I laughed because she was like, and like she's talking to all these higher.
I need it. Like,
No, and I think that's beautiful. I talk to God. I talk
Yeah.
to my people too.
I'll be calling on my ancestors.
Okay, can you go
yes.
back to your story? We're on a whole another tangent of
Yeah.
how many gods you guys talk to.
Just one.
Okay, Kyle,
One
focus.
creator.
Your journey
So,
about coming home.
I'm home. So yeah, y'all have seen all this stuff. I've talked about it. Some of you guys have given me my social media, Instagram, YouTube, like lashing, spankings, keep your ass home, or hey, I'm rooting for you. So yeah, the last few weeks I wasn't happy. I was in deep prayer. Like, I was trying to figure out what is my exit plan.
Yeah.
And my mom and Cheyenne could feel that something was going on just because, like, I wear my heart on my sleeves. Like, I'm not good with hiding things. I may not tell you, but, like,
You
you
didn't
know.
have to tell
I
them.
didn't have to
Yeah.
tell them, and they know me very well.
I was just gonna say
So, what was it? It was a Thursday morning. I had this dream, and I literally, you guys are going to laugh at me again. I woke up that morning, and I was frantic because I couldn't find my Quran. And I was like, I needed to read. I was like,
you needed
I
something
felt,
to show
yeah,
you.
I was
Yeah.
like, please, 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 please. So I found it, and it was in the same place that it always is. It was it was just like flipped and like had a piece of paper, and I like tore up an area trying to find it. And I found it, I read, and I feel like I was very clear with my prayers and like the attention that I want, like for myself and like my children, because later on that day, y'all, I got a DM from this girl saying she wanted to talk, or she was messaging me on behalf of her friend who had was asking if I'm Mezier's girlfriend and all this stuff. So at that point, I'm like,
wait. She was asking if you were Mezier's girlfriend.
yes.
Okay.
I'll show you. I don't remember exactly,
keep
but
going.
like, yeah.
You were like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I keep looking at her hands.
I was looking at your hands and I'm like, Mezier's girlfriend. Okay.
I know this is still a lot for me, so I'm
No,
like,
no.
I'm
You can
still
hold my hand if
processing.
you're-
Like, what is today?
So you can hold my hand.
What is today? Today's like a Tuesday or
Today
Wednesday.
is
It hasn't
a
even.
Thursday.
It has.
Thursday.
Oh, it's been a full week now.
Yes.
It's been 1 week.
It's still fresh.
Okay, it's very fresh. Okay, so yeah, I received this message, and I'm like, at first I didn't like. I just looked at it and I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then they sent another message.
What was
So
the other
I got
message?
like, I don't remember but
Okay.
basically it was like, yeah, if you want to, know what's going on, like, you can call my friend or something. Here's the number. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like, I sleep with this person, so I'm like,
What's
if something
going
is
on?
going on, I want to know. So it's like, if I need to protect myself, or I'm like, exit stage left now. So I text Cheyenne and I was like, what do I do? We had a little sister talk, and I went outside on the balcony, and I just like, was like, okay. So I sent a
Because
message.
there's always the chance that it could be
just
fake.
bullshit.
Or it
Yeah.
could just be somebody just trying to
just mess with you,
antagonize you.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's like
'cause when-
you really
yeah.
have to make a decision when you
do this,
when you decide to respond, because it's like, do I even want to open a door and it'd be just somebody trying to mess
Just
up my
mess with
day?
it. Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
so real. Yeah.
but
So you decided.
I walked through that doorway and ended up talking to this girl, and she gave me this whole story. And she was like, basically, she
you
was
talked
like
to her
on
via-
the phone.
Oh.
Yes.
So you hit up that number.
Yes, I did. At first, I sent a message just saying, like, this is who I am, like, and then I called. And she was like, this is a really uncomfortable conversation, but, like, I'm reaching out just because I didn't know the situation, but now that I do, like, if I were on the other end, I would want someone to tell me, and because I've been on the other end, and, like, I wish someone had told me.
Okay. And what was that?
So her and Messier have been, well, he's been entertaining someone, long story short.
Okay.
Don't need to go into super details, but actually, no, I'm here to talk. So they,
fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm giving all the info.
You've been stewing about a health problem you have. You almost resort to texting your group chat to get your friends' opinions. You're extremely unlikely to find quality medical advice in your group chat, but you can find it from a doctor on ZocDoc. Thousands of medical professionals on ZocDoc are there to help you. They listen like a friend and give you expert care you need. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. When you're not feeling your best and just trying to hold it together, finding great care shouldn't take up all your energy. That's where ZocDoc comes in. Using the free app that millions of users rely on, you can find the right doctor that meets your needs and fits your schedule. Book an appointment with a few taps in their app and start feeling better faster with ZocDoc. Go to ZocDoc.com/think and download ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/think. ZocDoc.com/think.
Meet Cairo. He's a curious and friendly 8-year-old who's navigating life and school in the big city, with a little help from his parents, his big brother, and his friends. And even though being a kid is hard work, sometimes you can have a lot of fun learning along the way. From Wondery, The Adventures of Cairo is a podcast that brings you stories for the entire family about kindness, courage, and responsibility. In the episode, Black is Beautiful, Cairo is hitting the road with his dad and grandpa to visit the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. If you're thinking, not many 8-year-olds dream of spending the entire day in a museum, you'd be right. But Cairo quickly learns this trip is different and discovers there's much more to Black history than he realized. It's been so much fun listening to The Adventures of Cairo with Ryder. She really enjoys this podcast. Follow The Adventures of Cairo wherever you get your podcast. You can listen ad-free on Amazon Music or Wondery app.
talking to the girl. She's like, I'll let you know if you want to go, but, like, that's on you. So I'm like, okay, like, let me hear what you have to say. So she tells me how they met on Hinge over a year ago. And
Red flag.
Red flag.
Big ass red flag, Shannon.
Story's over. There
She
are no
said,
flags.
Red flag.
You got your flags.
The game is shut down.
Yeah.
Everybody go home.
Bye.
I'm done. Okay, keep going.
Like green flag, let me go. Like freedom for me. Bye. I got my answers to my
So
prayers.
they met
So
a year ago.
They met on Hinge a year ago. She claims that they've never met in person. She doesn't even live in DC. She's from Chicago.
I hate it.
Was in DC with some friends visiting, and like, oh my god, I touched the table again. And
That's how they
they
matched.
matched. Yes,
Because on Hinge, you match
Right.
within like a perimeter.
Yeah,
basically.
she was visiting DC for friends or something, and they matched then. And the communication's still going on. So I guess recently they started to follow each other on Instagram, and that's when she was like, oh, there's more to this.
Right.
Because he had told her he had custody of his kids. Y'all, the story,
like
the
50-50
story.
or like
No, I don't know. That I have screenshots from this girl. I know I saw way too much. Like, this man was sending dick pics. This man was talking about, like, current stuff. The kicker on the phone was she was telling me how he was making plans for her, or to like come get her to come visit DC in April. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's cute.
And then she said, yeah, so like the weekend of April 7th. At that point, I was like,
I got
you
chills
know what?
just now.
Bro,
I've
when
heard
Kyle
enough.
told me that
I have
part, I
chills.
got sick.
I
I'm like,
said, I have heard
you
enough.
made plans on the weekend that you knew for sure,
Sure, Kyle's
she
gonna
wasn't going to be
leave.
there because you know for sure Kyle's
you
coming
know,
to celebrate Ryder's birthday.
And you know for sure.
You know
both the boys will be gone.
April. I've been talking about it. Bos's spring break is in April. I've been talking about how I'm going to LA because I have all this work in April.
That's a sneaky little move.
The boy's a liar.
The boy's a liar.
Oh, Boys Lie just dropped a new
Like-
collection. It's really cute.
Oh, is this a brand?
Yes.
Well, I was singing
I wear it all
Ice
the
Spice.
time.
Oh, is that Ice Spice?
Ice Spice and whatever girl, but that's a
Oh,
song.
y'all,
but yeah,
I've
it's
been
such
under a rock with my kids. I need all.
and Boys a Lie is
Boys Lie is really cute.
really cute.
I wear it all the time. Zach is
But
like,
anyways, go on with your story.
I might hit them up and say, "Hey, y'all,
can I be the face?
can I be a face?" Because you know what, Boys Lie.
Okay,
So,
keep going.
at that point, I'm like,
thought
okay,
he
you
was
know what,
sneaky.
sis, I'm good. Like, I've heard enough, but send those screenshots. So,
What has she seen screenshots of? She sent the dick pics that she sent.
yes.
I'll get to that part.
I'm dead.
In the shower that I shower in.
Ew.
Yo, that's
From the couch that we sit on together, movies that we are currently watching, conversation
Together.
about class that he is currently doing. Like, it
like
is
while
most
you're like next
fucked
to
up.
him.
I don't know if I'm right next. I hope not. But I'm there.
No, not the dick
There's-
pics.
Oh,
but
I'm trying to imagine him taking a dick pic next to Kyle as Kyle's watching the movie and she don't notice this man holding
no,
his dick.
no, not that. But I'm
Y'all,
just
wait.
saying, like,
Hold on. Y'all ain't never done nothing like that? Like, oh, here are my nails that you paid for, but I'm here with my other man. Like, thanks, babe. Like, here's my pic.
Kyle, if he just pulled out his penis
No, he didn't pull
and
out his
took
penis.
a picture
Kyle,
that's
while
way
he's sitting
different.
next to you, you weren't going to be like,
wait,
hey, what are you doing?
Kyle's trying to tell us that another man has paid for her nails while she's next to her. No.
Wait, I'm lost.
That was a while ago.
Okay.
Okay, keep going. I'm
Anyways,
good.
I'm crazy too. So when I walk back in the house, I'm on my phone, and all I did was say, he's sitting on the couch. I said, okay, thanks, Stephanie. And then he was like his body language changed, like his eyes kind of perked up. And I was like, hey, can I talk to you in the bedroom, please? And like, I just felt like
shaky and ready to kill.
at that point I wasn't. No, at that point I was just like, this fucking asshole. Like,
Yeah.
it was just more so like, let me see what you have to say. Like, let's have a conversation. Cause like I told you, I'm not happy right now. I've been trying to,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Question before you
Yes.
keep going, because Dad and I had this conversation before I got married. He had this conversation with me and he had it with Zach, and then he had it with us together also. And it was like, what are the conditions to your relationship, to your love? What's your make or break points? And he had brought up cheating. And he said, if Zach steps out, is that mean it's time for a divorce? Or if Shy steps out, is it time for a divorce? And we really had to like sit down and have our conversation, like a tough and uncomfortable conversation of what are our conditions, and how do you say, like, I wouldn't divorce you if you cheated on me, without making it seem like you're giving that person like a pass to go and do whatever the hell they want. So have you and Mez, prior to this, ever talked about like conditions that you guys would have for your relationship?
No, because I would say we weren't in a real relationship, period. Like, no, that effort was not put in. I would love to have those conversations.
Did you ever try to spark
I've tried
those
to have
conversations?
so many conversations. That man is a wall. So it's I was in a relationship with myself and my kids.
Do you feel
like I was there for my kids?
At some point,
I was there for my kids, but I hear, like, let me continue, because I hear what you're saying, and I think that is a good conversation to have in your relationships and your marriage. So for me, when I asked him, he was like, I don't know who you're talking about. He was like lying about it. He was gaslighting. He was telling me I'm crazy. You listen to anyone on Instagram, like, you just want to pick a fight. Bro, I don't want to pick a fight. I'm asking you just so I understand what's going on. If he had been truthful and been like, look, yes, it could have been a conversation. Because I don't necessarily think, like, cheating is like, oh, you cheat and, like, that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
To me, the problem was the lying. To me, the problem was how he...
And the longevity of it.
The longevity,
I think there's a difference between
a one-off...
If he steps out and he's drunk or whatever, and slips up that one night and comes home and looking like a sad motherfucking puppy that he should have tucked his dick back inside.
It's the sneakiness.
Or you're talking to somebody for over a year.
No, you're not... There are certain things that have been my issue, where the lack of energy put into that, to family stuff. So it's like... If you're not dealing with your family stuff and you're putting your energy over here, and what he was just like, oh, it's just entertainment, it's like live porn, go enjoy your live porn.
He said live porn?
He said it's like live porn. It was just entertainment.
That's a little sad.
But that's not
it's
entertainment.
Sad, and that is sad.
That's sad.
To me, it's like, when I see this, it doesn't make me mad, like, oh, fuck you, Mezier, like, you hurt my feelings. It was really like, you're empty. Like, you're 35 years old and you're doing this. And you have a family at home. You have your kids right here.
You have two beautiful sons
that you need to step up and figure things out for. So it's like, despite all of this that has happened, like, yeah, my feelings are hurt. Yeah, I'm crushed. Like, I'm home. Like, my boys and I, we're home.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the school year. I hate this, but it's like, I had to call my dad and say, hey, Dad, can you come pick us up? We got to go.
Yeah.
And it's not what I wanted, but it's like, yeah. Like, so for Mezier, it was sad.
I think it's sad because for him to say like it's just like live porn is just like your view. To me, that would make me really think about, like, how do you even view women?
I was just gonna say, like,
in your respect for women, you know,
you're just gonna say,
or your respect for like a relationship and what that would look like. Because, like you said, if he would have said, like, hey, yes, you know what I mean, maybe the outcome in the conversation could have been different. But I still think, because of the longevity of how long you've been talking to this person, that's scary.
That's sad.
That's really scary.
It's
and then
like
for
the whole
you
time
to
you've
know,
just been wasting
your time,
my time, your time. You're lying to me. You're lying to yourself. And it's like, you did this and you risked your kids. Like, you're saying you want to be this parent. You're saying you want this relationship, but it's like you're not doing it.
He's risked a lot, and then he keeps continuing to show his colors, and he keeps coming back.
And he's not
trying to defend himself and show that I'm not this guy, I'm not this. And, like, the thing, I think,
he's not doing the inner work. He's not doing the work to actually sustain or build what he wants to do, or the things that he says he wants to become, in my opinion, from just, like, as his friend, as someone who cares about him, as someone, I still love Mezier, you know? Like, I love him. Yeah. Am I in love with him? Nah. Am I in love with the way that nigga treats me? Nah. Like, you a nigga at this point to me, bro. Like, that's how I feel, you know? And that's I pray that changes. Like, you are still the father of my children. I respect you. I think you're a great person. But, like, right now, yes, I am in my feelings. I can say that. Like, it is what it is. Like, I have uprooted and given up and sacrificed and changed. I've left money on the table.
Uplifted your whole fucking life to go to
moved out my house. I have done it all. So it's like, for you to sit here and do this, I'm so happy I'm not a Lifetime movie right now. Like, I am a Lifetime movie. Let me finish my story.
I was for sure texting her, like,
I am a
are we good over there?
Yeah.
Like,
because, like, for me, like, I'm a very passionate person. Like, I care hard. So it's like, when you cross that line, it's like, it really crushes me. Because it's like, I'm genuine in that sense. Like, I'm not here to, like, fake the funk. I'm not here to, like, I'm not going to do it unless I want to do it, you know?
And I feel like this is one of those things that you did despite
what
everybody had to say.
Everyone had to say. So it's like, okay, as crazy as the story is, or what has happened, or as crazy as the last 5 years have been, like, I'm still really at peace with my decisions because
there's no shit you could do about them now.
Right.
There's nothing to do about it now. But it's like, my whole thing was, I never wanted my kids, say, in 10 years from now, to be like, hey, my parents didn't try. Or, like, no one tried. Like, guess what, kids? You have
tried.
And Messier has tried, too. Like, we both have tried. It's you know, mine a little different than his. It's a way different
situation. Give me an example of him trying.
Okay, let's leave it alone.
Okay. You literally...
You just gave that man too much credit saying he tried.
Literally, Kyle, you uplifted, like Cheyenne said, you've
multiple times
taken yourself out of the most uncomfortable environment, which is here in LA, home with all your support. Moved to freaking DC, try to making a way for your kids, for Mez being the best woman you could be. And this man just continues to fucking let you down. Like, no, I don't. Sorry.
This is not it.
It's not it. And I hate to, and I know I'm the type of friend that's like, I want to, like, not speak too much on a situation because,
Talk to me. Let me know.
No, but I love you. And just seeing you go through the journey and always talking to you, like, we talk on a daily, you know, and we have our check-ins. And I know some days you were struggling, and I know you didn't have the support that you needed. And for him to not respect you as the beautiful woman that you are and let down his kids is just beyond me. Like, I feel like I've shut my mouth for that man because I knew that, you know, whatever journey you're going through, and it's your journey. But it just really frustrates me that...
And I just want to thank both of you guys.
I just love you so much. It's like, you're literally like my sister.
Oh, you are. My sister. In addition to her.
And it's...
I feel like I'm like on an island by myself over here. I'm just going to sit back and let you guys have your moment.
No, but it's just
whatever.
No, it's hard. It's hard to play the role of the friend or the sister to somebody
who's
on
there.
In a relationship, and you want to shake them and say, get out of this. This is not it. But there was a point where I think Mom and I and Dad and I all sat down and was like, there's nothing that any of us can say or do. She's going to have to learn for herself. Yep. Now, whether that's a good lesson or a bad or a hard lesson, nobody was saying, like, she's going to learn her lesson today. It was we have to just sit back and let it play out how it's going to play out. I
am very hard-headed. I am very stubborn.
We all said, this is not it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at that point, you want to still go and do it, we'll support you in doing it. Yeah. But at some point, we have to stop enabling when we see it's not healthy for you. And that's what it got to, was once, like, these past few weeks, my mom and I have been so worried because we're like, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. So how do we support this and enable it almost when we see that she's like, going down. She's going down. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, what role do you play to your sister or to your friend or your aunt or your mom? And then it's like, I guess I'm asking honestly, how do you keep your relationship with that person and still voice your opinion in, like, a respectful way without losing that person at the same time?
But that's what I was going to say. I thank you both because I feel like you did that. Like, I feel like you allowed me to have the space that I needed. I feel like you guys still talked to me. You still shared what you had to say, whether it was, you know, concerns for me, concerns for the boys. You guys were supportive. You guys listened. You know, you reassured me. And then there were times where you'd be like, you know what? I can't talk to you right now. I'll talk to you later. You know? Yeah. So it's all been learning lessons, you know?
And it's hard to watch somebody you love go through that learning lesson when you feel like you just want to say, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go through this alley. You're almost like making it hard on yourself. But what I realized is like,
a pattern that I've also
see, like, you're not going to see it from my
for
view
myself.
For yourself.
Because I feel like when you're in those situations, when you're going through something personally, you don't see from the outside. Yeah. You're seeing from what your journey is, what like you're talking to God.
I'm on a whole other mission.
Want. Like it's a different mission than what we see. But
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's so hard.
There were plenty of people online, not offline, my friend group who were looking at me and Zach like, you're
not doing nothing?
Like, really? You're not going to step up to your sister and tell her? And at the same time, I'm like, I'm sure she can say things about my relationship that she sees that she doesn't like. So I have to respect her. I have to respect it. Yeah. And there's people who are like, they look at me and Zach the same way. Like, how could you guys get married? You haven't done this, you haven't done this, you haven't done this, or you've done this, you've done this.
Else
and it's like everybody's story is so different to themselves.
Yes.
So at some point, we just had to sit and say, she's going to figure it out, and he's going to figure it out.
And everybody has lessons at different times. Like, that's one thing I just want to really, like, remember that. Back to what happened that night. So I'm confronting him, asking him. He's gaslighting me, lying. At this point, like, at first I was sitting on the bed, just, like, real chill, like, you sure? And he went from, I don't know what you're talking about, to, oh, you're talking about the girl who's doing this, to, oh, the one over there. And it was like, oh, okay, like, keep going. At this point, I didn't have the screenshots yet. But, like, once I heard that April 7th comment, I was like, you're caught. So I think he went into, like, distress. And then at that point, I just thought the lying and stuff, just like, I started to like, the little worm started to tick in my head. And Harriet came out. And then we're in each other's faces. And this is when I'm like, this is where like my learning and I have to get myself together. Because I could have easily just like walked away and been like, okay,
let's go.
Not worth my time. Instead, we're in each other's faces. He's crazy. I'm being crazy. And then at that point, I swung. And I'm not a fighter. I don't fight. I don't know. My body just, like, it wasn't even like a formulated thought. It just went. And he ducked back. And then, like, we had, like, a little physical, like, scuffle, altercation. Like, he did not hit me. Like, nobody actually, you know, it was just, like, a tussle. And I did get a little banged up from that, and mind you, the door is close to this, so, like, the kids are in the other room, and all I could think about is, like, my babies are here, like, please don't walk in, like, I don't want you to hear this, like, I can't protect you in this moment, like, mommy messed up, too, like, I should have handled this conversation different. At that point, I'm, like, shaken up, like, I'm like, holy shit, I gotta get out of here, because Messier was, like, just kind of, like, just in this zone, and I could just see it was not going to be, like, pretty. So I instantly, like, when I got out that room, the first thing I did was grab the car keys and put them in my pocket. And then I just went into, like, a fake autopilot of, like, hey, baby, like, got my boys, here are your jackets. But long story short, I ended up leaving. I thought I packed a bag with clothes. I only grabbed, like, 3 pair of pants that were too small for Zaire. I grabbed diapers, no wipes. It just...
Because your mind wasn't...
I literally was just, like, I was fucked up. Get the kids, and I grabbed their jackets. Zaire's in the car, no shoes, no socks, Boz is, you know, I just grab them and go.
Sorry to cut you off. Knowing that Boz is older... Mm-hmm. Did Boz have questions? Did he
Messier,
I know kids feel our energy,
yes.
And I know your energy was probably off.
My energy was definitely off.
Like breaking.
Boz was like, why is Dad being so mean? And I was like, oh, we're just, you know, we're having a moment, but like, just look at mommy, like, let's look at your brother, like, hold your brother's hand, like, I was trying to, like, just distract him because Messier was, like, he was being loud. He was still saying things, like.
While you were leaving the house?
Yeah, I think he was really just, like, in a moment of distress where it was, like, you got caught. Like,
yeah,
shit just got really bad really fast, and now you've lost your family in that sense.
So, like, Boz was upset.
So, this point, Cheyenne's, like, calling me, like, trying to check on me. I'm just, like, rattled. Let me get my kids in the car, and I'm, like, I just start driving. I had no idea where I was going, but I was, like, I have to get out of here. So, at this point, I call Cheyenne. I'm, like, because she's got friends out there. I'm trying to see if, like, who's in the city, because I didn't have my wallet. I couldn't even go to a hotel. Like, I literally was just, like, shit out of luck. I've been driving for 30 minutes with my lights off. Like, I was really in a bad state. So I ended up calling Messier's brother. I went to his brother and his fiance's house. And they have, like, a 2-story house. So I knew if we went, like, we could at least, like, be away if it was a matter of, like, protection or feeling safe, secure.
Yeah.
And we went there. I think I was driving around, honestly, for like an hour and a half before we got there, just because I, like, kept getting lost. Like, he kept calling my phone. Nancy kept calling my phone. I had to block him because, like, I just couldn't get it together. So finally got there, got settled. Called my dad, asked my dad, told my dad what happened. So the next morning, my dad was there, like, in noontime.
Mm-hmm.
He flew out, and there were all these conversations, him and Messier, blah, 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 and basically...
So your dad talked to Mez?
My dad talked to Messier. Messier's Uncle Tony called. Like, for the first time, people outside of his mother or him, like, outside of him, someone had called on his behalf or on his side. And I'm like, to me, it was really sad that it has taken 5 years and this for, like, for his family to, like, finally chime in. And all the time that I've come there, no one has ever reached out about the boys. No one has ever called about the boys. No one has ever said, hey, how are you and Messier doing? I know things have been tricky. Like, what's going on? Like, there's just been nothing. And they were, like, upset with me that I called my family. And I told them, I'm like, look, I don't know you guys. Like, I don't know you. All due respect. Like, you have not... Okay, if you had been present, if you had created that relationship, like, sure, maybe I would have called you and this has been something that we could handle here. That's not the case. And at this point, I'm taking my ass back home. I'm not happy anyways. Like, I'm out. So... my dad comes, I'm packing my stuff. I called my cousin to come get the boys for a couple hours, just keeping them distracted. I didn't want them to see what was going on or just hear. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But we were fine. We were quiet. We didn't really talk. But Mezzy and I were in the same place, like, and yeah, so this happened on a Thursday night, and what was it, Saturday morning, boarded a plane with my kids and, came home. So, yeah, that is where I am. But it's I guess I've been home for a couple days now. Stayed at my mom's at first, went to Cheyenne's, but just been trying to gather my thoughts, breathe. Like, this is honestly the first time that I've had a moment without the kids since everything has happened. My mom is out of town.
Do you feel weird without? Do you feel like a certain way, like not being around your kids at this time?
I need this.
I
need this.
Girl, you should have seen my house the past few days. Them kids. I need to get away from there.
Yeah.
It's a full house of walking, talking, shitting, eating, yelling, throwing.
And they all want to eat different things at different times.
Yes.
Like,
I think that you definitely need
my question
time away from them.
I haven't had, this is literally the longest time I've had just by myself since this has happened. And it's like the boys, Zaire, at first, he would not let me go. And I knew his body was feeling my stress because the next morning he had, like, explosive diarrhea. My baby's never had diarrhea before. So I'm like,
it's so crazy when you have kids, how deep they feel our emotions.
They do. They know.
They're in tune.
And our kids are, I feel like our kids are intelligent. Like, they're observant.
Very.
They talk to each other. So it's like, if Boz may not know something, Ryder's like, nah, boss, this is what it is, you know? So it's like, so it's like right now it's just trying to be like, what is the plan? So I told Messier, like, you know, I've always been the one to have these difficult conversations with boss. Now that he's older and like, the onus is not on me. Like, this is not my
You need to say sorry to your son.
Not on the phone.
Yeah.
This is an in-person conversation where the two of us need to get on the same page.
Do you think he would come out here to do that?
I told him he needs to come out. So he said he's going to see if he can come out on Sunday or something. And like my dad's birthday's tomorrow. We're going to the desert for the weekend. So I'll have like
good for you.
Be kid free for like a few days. Can like just go breathe, enjoy. We're going to a concert. I love music.
You're going to be kid free?
Yes. So I am happy about that.
Does it give you like anxiety thinking about him coming out here, even though it's like he's coming out here to have this conversation with Boz? But does that make you? I don't know. I feel like I'm anxious and I'm not in the situation. So how do you feel with him coming here?
Do you think that's too soon for you to see him in person?
No.
No?
Okay. My concern is my child.
Of course. No, but I'm
saying,
like,
even yesterday, like, Boz was, like, he was okay, and then he disengaged for a while. And I think he's just starting to, like, he might be hearing things. Like, you know, he rode with Cheyenne to take Ryder to school.
And he had said, Ryder had said something about, well, my school does this. And Boz said, oh, that's cool. Like, my school does this. And then Ryder said, I don't think you're going to that school anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm in the driver's seat, like, Ryder, like, and Boz is like, I'm not going to DC, and I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
like so the two of them are trying to figure out what's happening.
What's happening?
Yeah. Our kids, I think.
They listen to everything. They know what's going on.
Everything.
I haven't told Ryder Boz isn't going to that. Like, why would I tell Ryder that? So I'm just like, okay,
I haven't told Ryder, but
she's hearing it.
They ear hustle all the time.
I've even had to be mindful of like conversations I'm having. Like, you gotta go. I gotta remove myself. So it's like, there's times where like my mom has wanted to talk, and I'm like, you know what, Mom, I would like to talk about this, but like I'm in the car with the kids, like.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah.
So it's
I definitely think that Boz is definitely confused right now and trying to figure out
what is going on.
What are we doing?
What are we
doing? Here? Am I DC? Am I here? Am I DC? And
I've been trying to check in and talk.
Mez is coming to have that difficult conversation. I'm hoping that you guys would do it together.
We're going to do it together, and it's not just going to be a conversation. It'll be like, here's a conversation, here's a plan. Like, I want Boz to feel like his thoughts and his feelings are heard and valued. So it's like, you know, I'm about to be on Google. What kind of questions do I need to ask him? Like, how do I make him feel safe or know that he can, like, talk to us?
I think that's good, but I also think that's something that's organic.
Yeah.
Because just like my conversation I had last week about the past of Parker's sister, I don't think there's ever the right verbiage, the right things to say to your kid about those situations.
Yeah.
I think it will come to you. Okay. And I think that's another time that you have with God, asking him to give you the strength to talk to Boz, to talk to Mez during that time. I think you have the most beautiful words and you know how to speak.
Yeah.
I don't think you need Google. I don't think you need...
But I do think that you and Mez have to be on the same
page. Yes. Right. I think you guys should have a plan.
Well, I think we need to have like
a genuine, like, Mez needs to put energy into
his plan.
This is what's about to happen, not in their, like, sad puppy dog style.
Like, I'm sorry, like, no. But,
like, your mom came up with this plan, so now I'm telling you. You know what I mean? Because all that energy is going to go into it. So if Boz feels like, damn, Mom and Dad are down for this plan, then I'm down for this plan. But if he feels like one of you guys are lacking in it, he's going to pick that up so quick.
Whatever. I want him to know, because it's like, when it comes to team front, like, Mezzi is still my teammate, you know? Like, yeah, we had a scuffle in the middle of the game, but like the game goes on, you know. It's I didn't say we're gonna be best friends on the same team, you know. But it's
you on the opposite team as me right now. You're sitting over there, okay? You're on the motherfucking bench, okay?
Someone was like, oh, yes, when I was talking to one of my friends, they're like, oh, yeah, new chapter. And I said, new chapter? Like, I'm in a whole new series at this point. Like, that is
I think that it's hard because you're my sister, so I'm biased. So, of course, like, I'm going to stick on your side. I don't care what you do. It's just, it is what it is. At the same time, the reality of it is a woman shouldn't hit a man shouldn't hit a woman. It goes both ways.
Agreed.
And mistakes were made. Now you guys are both in recovery mode. But I think it taught both of you guys a huge lesson. And one thing I am proud of you, I mean, not one, but I'm proud of you that you have enough sense to know it, to call home, courage. And that it was okay.
Like, we use the word courage because I feel like I've been trying to think about this because it's like it's not always sense, or it's not, you know, it's not always, it's you can think, anybody can think about it, but it's actually that the action of actually
but
doing
not
it.
Everybody has common sense.
I know.
Like, not everybody has enough sense to even think about having the courage to call home.
Okay.
So I just think that it's one thing for you to have gone through this situation and you could have chalked it up, gone in the bathroom, wiped your face off, and gone and made dinner.
And be like, everything's going to be fine.
But I think that a huge line was crossed between the two of you guys on both sides.
I agree.
Now it's trying to figure out what do we do now and how do we fix it. And of course, it's like the line was crossed because this, and this. You know, like you can go back and forth about that all day long. But either way, you guys both still crossed.
It's about
a line.
How we move forward from this. So I think since that did happen, like Dad and I have talked about it. Like we both need space.
Yeah.
You know, and to quiet as a cat, I'm happy I'm back in LA. Like. I miss my family. I miss my support system. Like, y'all gonna talk shit about me, but like living in an apartment was.
Girl, you gotta stop saying this.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to this. I apologize.
Living in an apartment was shit?
Living in an apartment with cold weather and 2 young children was extremely difficult.
And no park.
And there are parks.
Dad told me the park was shitty.
My dad came to DC and he Googled parks. There's little parks all over the place, but the park could literally be a 4x4 patch of grass with a statue. It's a park. You have to look up recreation centers, indoor playgrounds. I've learned there's different lingo, but it's
you're very fortunate.
It was I'm very fortunate. Yeah. I'm very happy very blessed, very grateful. Like I'm extremely grateful to my family and my friends that I do have people that I can call on. That I'm able to come home, and it's like I'm not coming home like sad girl, like sad puppy. I'm like, I've been working. I'm coming home with a whole new certification. I'm coming home with a new business or 2 new businesses. Like. We're going to be able to film in the podcast and studio more. Like, Image Quest is doing, like, it's building right now. So it's like, I'm home, like, I'm on my grind. I'm getting back in my bag. Like, I want to buy a house next year. Like, to me, I'm like, Messier, this could be cool, but, like, you don't want to do the work. I'm busy trying to build my life. Mm-hmm. And at this point, it's like, you're hindering what I've got going on. And that's
you're
how
like stunting
you're stunting my growth.
Yeah, like your blessings.
Yeah, like.
So with him, sorry, I still have questions because this is the first time hearing about him possibly coming in a few days.
Back, yeah.
Would that be him pulling up for this convo and then leaving, or him staying for a few days? Like, what do you think?
What
in your head?
And where's he
noticing
staying?
his knowing his one, he needs to figure out his own accommodations.
Right.
This is like, I have to be very clear cut on my boundaries. And I know before I've been like, oh, here are these boundaries, but like they're fuzzy and the boundaries could be crossed. At this point, here are the boundaries. Okay. And like, I want to write out my boundaries. So it's like, there's no, here's a conversation you forgot or whatnot. No. Anytime there was something that is going on between us and you need to be reminded or I need to be reminded.
So one of your boundaries for this upcoming trip would be to find your own accommodations.
His own accommodations.
Outside of your realm or inside your realm is okay.
He needs to do it. I'm not.
But you also have to tell your friends and family what your boundaries are, because let's say you tell him
what's going on.
Find your own accommodations, and he hits up Zach and I and says, "Hey, I know you guys have a guest room." That might be a boundary that you don't want crossed, or you get what I'm saying. Or if he says, "I'm gonna go stay at your dad's," or
I'm okay with like.
But that's conversations that is confusing. Yeah. You get what I mean?
And then this is when I'm also like, this is new for me, so it's like. I don't know if I just say, to me, if I'm like, you can't call my mom, you can't call my dad, like,
And I don't think that's the answer, but I'm just saying you have to figure out what your boundaries are, what you're comfortable with, and those boundaries can change. Yes. Maybe for this trip, no, I don't want you staying with my family. And maybe for the next trip, I'll be in a better place to where I feel more comfortable with you staying with my family. You know what I mean?
And I think that these are things
even
that
with
I'm
your
still,
family feeling
like,
comfortable with
him
myself.
Yeah, because if he stays at my house, I'm gonna bleach his clothes.
Because
Hey, can I tell you how proud I was, y'all? I wanted a Kia car. I was
saying,
no.
I was exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
y'all.
come inside, man.
Shannon,
you're being real nice, Sean.
Shannon,
you live in your house right now.
Come inside my house, little buddy.
Come here. You can sleep right there.
Parked in
like a little
front.
surprise from Deuce
Ryder's been asking me to do some pranks lately. We've been pranking man's ass for the next 3 days.
Y'all, I was in front of the 7-Eleven, and you know how they have the window display? The sugar was in the display. And at first I was like, I'm about to drive this man's car to the I don't know where and just pour sugar in his tank and tell him to have a great day.
Crazy.
But I didn't do it.
I think we stick him at Dad's house because Dad gonna talk his head off all damn day.
Get him a.
But you know what? I love my dad. And Dad has been really into these conversations, and he's really been trying to guide Messier. But it's also like
the blind
leading the blind.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
it's a little scary. I'd actually keep him away.
I think he needs to learn his lesson.
I think he does.
I think he needs to get a hotel.
I think he needs more of a click.
He needs the reality.
He
get a hotel.
Thinks he's coming here and he's used to staying at one of your family's houses
and having a spread,
having dinner, and all these things.
I still feed this man running around.
He still needs to have a reality check of no, man. You're coming here
on your
to
own.
have a strict.
Do you think that in his head he might be able to? In his head, do you think that he might be like, damn, I'm gonna come out there and I can woo her and get them to come back?
Yes,
because I think he thinks that every time he fucks up.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all.
He thinks he can always.
Which is why I'm saying before you and Boz and him sit down,
you
need to make that
so
clear because if he's coming out here with different intentions, then that conversation with Boz is going to be
confusing,
weird.
Hell's gonna. Oh, I hope he hits me up. Hey, Shannon. Nah,
he's been hitting me up.
I'm good, Mez.
I haven't been able to respond. I responded and acknowledged the text and said, I'm not ready to respond.
Yeah. And
he said, it's okay, I understand. And I'm like, great, thanks.
Great,
because
bye.
Because at this point, I don't want to say anything crazy because you still are the father to my nephews, and God forbid anything ever happen and we just have to deal with him, then there still needs to be a line of communication because I would be fighting him for those boys.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to ever use anything that I say out of anger against me in court.
Yeah, no, that's...
Because I got some shit too. I would be like, I'm going to say this. What you got to do? So I feel like at this point, I've had to stay out of it with him and our relationship because I don't want to say anything crazy and ruin it.
Like,
and
that's not the essence of your relationship
It's
either.
not. We've always been cool, but despite all the bullshit he's put Kyle through, I've always stayed cordial because I have to stay cordial. Same thing with my mom. He put me and my mom in a group chat and sent us a message. And I said, are you going to respond? And she said, I'm just not ready.
And that's fair.
If Messier comes out here, or when he comes out here.
I was about to say if, not an if.
But when.
I hope he does.
I pray that he does too. And I pray that we are able to get on the same page. And I would even be like, I would ask him if he would want to have a conversation on the podcast too. Like, just.
Where he going to sit?
I'm not ready.
He better sit right here.
Shannon said, I'm not ready.
I just want to know.
Maybe the three of us, we come together and we just look at him. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I still want to
time.
Want to do weird shit to him still. So
I don't think I'm ready
do some
to
weird
have
shit just because. No, just kidding.
No, I don't think I'm ready to have a conversation.
So not now,
like
but
eventually he can definitely come on.
That is
but
worth
I need
a
more
conversation.
time.
But with everything that I'm going through right now, like, I'm trying to take, like, the silver lining. I'm trying to stay on my positives. I'm trying my best to listen and process and feel and not, like, internalize everything because that's kind of, like, what I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to just hold things up and then it builds up and then I'm like, ah! So trying to release everything.
Which is good.
And it was so nice. Yesterday I saw Corey, and he brought me like some Epsom salt in a blanket and a journal, and he was sharing how he has been doing therapy, and I was so proud of him. And like, I was like, thank you, Corey. Like, and just to know, like, I've seen Corey, like, watching Corey and hearing Corey, so hearing that he's in therapy, like, it gives me prayer and hope that Messier can, like, there's so much time, like, you can step up and make the changes that you need to be the person
make the changes,
that you want to be.
You can.
You can. And I'm happy that his family is now chiming in, because it's like, he needs support. Like, this is what he needs. So it's like, come on, y'all. But with all this, I'm journaling. I'm keeping track of everything.
Hey, really fast. Yes. I take it back. Bring him on. I want to ask him about the Hinge girl. Come put him on the podcast. Let's have a conversation.
So with all this, I'm trying to hold on to the positives and learn as I'm building out like my business right now, which is it's Mom Recovery. It's Wish Upon a Mom Recovery. I've been focusing on like prenatal, postnatal like recovery, but like with this, just learning from my experience the other night, like I left with no wallet. I couldn't get myself a hotel. I couldn't buy stuff for my kids if I wanted to, so I'm trying to figure out how to create like a fund for my business in the future for like moms or just who are in moments of distress or like moments where it's like you may not have someone to call on, but here's this community that you can count on, where there may be like, you know, someone who could book you a room or someone who can say, hey, I've got diapers or here's
an extra room.
Here's a bedroom. So
I like that.
This is a raw
like
thought.
That safe space.
Here's a safe space. And I really believe in like safe spaces and safe havens and creating those places. So this is very new to me. I still have tons of research. I still got to get through my shit. But like this is something that I do want to incorporate into my business. So later down the line when I'm ready, if this is something that is also, you know, if it resonates with you, like I can't do this all by myself, of course. Like I want to build like a team and a community. So it's like, with time, give me some grace and patience, but just with time, know that I will be seeking like other people's.
I really want you to have some grace and patience for yourself too.
I need to not worry about coping right now. I usually cope with work. Like, let me just keep going. Like, my business partner was like, if you don't stop calling me about work and just go sit down and breathe. So I'm about to go sit down and breathe.
Definitely breathe. But I do think that that's a great idea. Yeah. I would love to be on your team. I'm proud of you for sharing today on the podcast. Yeah, I feel like in the past, it's always been harder for both of you guys to be super open and transparent.
I like privacy.
And I'm looking at both of y'all like, I know the real story and y'all some motherfucking liars. So I just think that it's good that I'm watching you talk, and it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard, but it's really good, and I hope that everybody who's listening can give you grace this week and the next few weeks and whatever else. And if you guys just go and leave Kyle some encouragement on her page or on the podcast page.
Prayers for both me and Messier. Like, I'm sharing this not to, like, bash anyone. Like, shit's fucked up for him.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Don't forget to tell your crew about our crew, and you can follow us at Think Loud Crew.
And thank y'all for listening to me and being patient with me. You can follow me on what's my Instagram? RKyleLynn.
Her name.
Yeah, shut up, Shy.
Her name, you guys.
And you can follow me at Shy Not Shy. And Shannon, where can they follow you?
And you can follow me at Hair by Shannon C.
Yay! Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and
leave broken hearts.
Leave broken hearts.